Okay guys, welcome to our first part of our striking sniper course. This is module 1. I have Mr. Steve over here with me. Now, we are going to cover 5 concepts with striking. So these are the concepts you always want to think about when you are striking the pads, when you are learning that, or when you want to refine it and get better. So the first thing is I always want to be in my stance with my hands up. So when I'm throwing a strike, whether it's a cross, whether it's a jab over here, I want to make sure my other hand stays up. What I don't want to do is throw my jab, drop this down, because Mr. Steve's going to whack me over the top like that. So anytime I'm throwing my combos, I'm here, here, look, see how I'm coming through? I'm always coming back to protect myself. Now, in the case where maybe I went like this and then he throws that, I can duck it. So I do have other options, but let's say he's just coming at me, just throwing strikes in here. I want to keep my hands in my bubble up like this so he can't get in. If you get good at your strikes, you don't want to just throw it like this and then stop and then you're totally open. You want to make sure you keep those hands up. You have your defense first. And that's actually why we'll have like a combo. If I go to jab cross and he goes to hit me with that hand, then I'll go jab cross on you. 1, 2, he comes back. My hands are up, right? Or we do the duck. Jab cross, ducking over, coming back up. So that's why we'll include those into your combos. Especially when you're doing your sparring with your shin pads and your gloves on. This will actually give you a better option. If we're just sparring here, he's coming pop, pop, maybe I'm coming back in here. You want to make sure you keep your guard up. Because when we're training in the studio, if you get hit, most likely it's your fault. That's what we're going to say. It's like if you're in a car accident and you hit somebody from the back, it's your fault, right? So the defense is number 1. The second thing is the power comes from my core and the rotation of my body. It doesn't matter how big you are, how big your arms are, it's the rotation. So when I'm over here, I use the ground reaction forces to push off of the ground, come up my leg, rotate my pelvis, my core, and out my arms. So my whole body works together. So if I'm over here, instead of being like a big guy over here and just punching like that and that, right, I'm rolling, coming right through. So you can see how I come in, I roll. Now, here's the thing we talk about. In physical therapy, we have a load of the muscles and an unload. So the easiest way to describe that would be I'm going to load my legs and I'm going to unload with the squat. When I do this and punch, bang, so I load it over here, punch through. Now, my other side is preloaded. What does that mean? It means I can come back, right? That's why a lot of times with our cadence, we're opposite hands, right? We can break our cadence by coming maybe here and here, but when we really do it, here's my strike, I've loaded, I come back. That's why that works. So, when we're over here, really focus on getting those core abs back tight and using that when you come in here. I also think it'd be a good idea to maybe do some sit-ups, some planks, some crunches so you get a little fatigue in the muscles first so you can get that mind-body connection. So when you're striking, you remember, oh, Mark said, activate my core, keep it tight, go in. It also is a good defensive measure because if I come up and he comes low but my core's tight and I'm breathing out, I can take that shot better. It'd be like ki in traditional karate. Now, the second thing is keeping my chin tucked. So when I throw, my hands are over here. Now, I always want my hands, if I'm coming straight with my jab cross, to be my chin level. Unless I'm going to the body, but we'll talk about that in a different module. So if I'm here, I'm protecting my chin. So if he comes over here, see I have a little bit of a block. If my chin's up like this, it doesn't block it, right? So as I'm striking, 1, 2. So if he throws, there it is, and I can come in and clinch. Now, we always want to make sure we're punching through our target, most likely with the exception of the jab. So with the jab, I have a stiff jab, and we'll talk about that more in a bit, but I pull it back, right? Why? It sets up my other strike. But when I'm coming in here, I want to drive through my pad. So if I'm trying to strike Steve's nose, which is very, very pretty, how many times has it been broken? Like 5 times, okay? If I want to punch his nose and break it for a 6th time, I want to punch through it. I don't want to punch out the tip and then come back. I want to go through the pads. Now, when we talk about striking, we know we have speed, we have power. What trumps that is definitely the technique. But right now, we're going to be talking about your accuracy. Now, the thing with this is the way your brain works. When you first start doing something, it doesn't matter what it is. You don't have that neural pathway in your brain, right? So if I want to punch Steve's nose, which has been broken 5 times, I might not understand where that is, right? I don't know. Once I start touching it, I can keep touching it because my brain has that pathway. It's the same way with punching. If I've never thrown a punch before, my whole mechanics are going to be awkward. I'm going to be all the time. not over the top, I don't know what that means, but you know what I'm saying. You're going to be all over the place. Now, as I keep doing it, my brain makes the neural program that understands, contract the abs, rotate that, punch through. And you can see it with Mr. Steve when he first came in here training with me. His strikes were subpar, right? But now he's slamming those pads. I'll actually put some footage of that actually after this. It's pretty cool. But because you're going to get those reps in to make that neural pathway so you can execute it right away. That is real self-defense. So when we're working on our accuracy, okay, I'm over here. So anytime I'm doing a strike, I want to make sure it's slow. The speed and the power will come, but if we really focus on that accuracy, it'll make that pathway really good. I'll understand where I want to strike, right? We don't want to strike arbitrarily. We want to strike where I want to hit. So on these pads over here, we're going to go for the T. So if I'm in my stance over here, I'm just throwing. See, now look at my body moving. I'm stepping in with that jab, coming in. All right? Now, as I use my body with my cross, it's the same. I'm using my other side here. This hand's coming up. So you want to start working on that accuracy. So those will be my 5 concepts that you want to keep in mind. The first one is always keep your defense up. The second one is going to be always making sure that you use your core to activate. The third is tucking your chin. The fourth is punching through. And the 5 is let's work on that accuracy so you can really be that striking sniper. Okay, so let's start breaking down that jab punch. Now, if there's one error that I see people make is that their jab becomes less effective as we add more elements to the combo, right? So when you're just doing your jab over here, I can step in if I'm too far away. Now, I'm a little bit shorter, so I'm definitely going to have to step in. If you're longer, taller, you can step in, but my arm reach is not going to be that long, so I definitely need to step in and get my body going with it. But what happens is, when I start throwing other combos, that becomes really weak. We don't want that. Your first strike is the most important. You definitely want to make sure that hits. If it doesn't hit, you have follow-ups, but that is the most important. Remember, in a self-defense situation, the person who gets the first shot in has a huge advantage. So if I'm over here with my jab, now I want to think about lasers or arrows coming straight into the T. Now see how I'm not starting fast, I'm coming in here. I have my tight fist, cock down a little bit, in. I'm going to use my first 2 knuckles in here. Now see the rhythm I'm getting in, I'm stepping, I'm coming in. So there's your jab. Let's come on this side a little bit. So if we're over here, in, here, here. Now, the good thing about this, when you mess up, it gives you that feedback. You have to make errors to get better. No one starts out perfect, right? So you have that neural feedback. I do it right, I get that positive response in my brain, that dopamine. If I do it wrong, and I'm really focused on it, I know I have to correct it, and then your body can make those adjustments as you go. So I'm over here, bang, in, here, in. Now, when I do this over here, and I'm throwing that jab, I'm making sure I breathe out, I come straight through. Okay, so let's do a couple more. So I'm going to come here, in here, in here, in here. Now, if he's the pad holder, yes, he's going to come meet me a little bit this way. So, when you're working your jab, keep it up, make sure you're coming through, extending, you can get a little bit of rotation here, and then you are hitting. That'll be your jab punch. Okay, let's move on to that cross punch. So if I'm over here, I'm going to be able to throw in here. Now, notice when I do that, I'm using the ground reaction forces, my abs are tight, and you can see my body rotate in that transverse plane, right? That's a functional movement. Now, if I'm just throwing the cross without the jab, I don't really have a measurement of how far he is, right? Like I can see it, and I'm over here. If I want to throw that jab first, I know how far he is, because my brain already made that connection. That can come straight through, right? So this would be just like a piston coming right in. If I throw the cross without that, I don't actually know how far it is. So the jab actually helps you gauge the distance and come here. We did talk about moving that jab back. However, if I wanted to, I can leave that there, right, just right in his face, block his vision, and then switch it over there too. That's a little bit nastier if you want to use that. So when I'm throwing my cross, we're just going to talk about my cross. You're going to see me squash the bug in here, come out, in. Now, what letter am I going for on the pads? It's the T. It's right in the middle. Some pads will have like a dot, maybe a yellow dot, red dot, pink dot, blue dot, whatever dot you want. But you're going right for the middle. So I'm in here, in. Now see how this hand came up here? So you can see, look how I'm contracting my glute, and I push off on it. So we'll come this way. So you can see in here, in here, in here. Now, I do want to point this out because me and Mr. Steve have different striking styles. So my style of striking would probably be a little bit more powerful, but definitely slower than Mr. Steve's. Mr. Steve has power, but he has a lot of speed. He's very quick. So I'm not trying to do his style of striking, which you'll see in a second. Although I'm pretty fast with my strikes, he's a lot faster. So I can try to get like that, but his body type is going to dictate how he strikes, right? If you're a bigger dude, you probably won't be as fast as Mr. Steve, but you're going to have that power. So I'm adapting the way I strike to my body type. Now you can always improve in every area, but you're going to see him do some stuff on film when we've been practicing. He's quick, right? He's going pop, 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 pop. I'm not that quick, right? So I got to adapt it for me, maybe overpower, maybe get in and slip in, right? So it just depends where you are. Let's go back to that cross. So I'm over here, in here, in here. See? Now I can do my wire, punch some bricks, some concrete, come in here lightly to build up that calcium deposits in my fist. Totally up to you. In. Now, let's go 1, 2. So I'm going to be here. 1, 2. See how I started off slow? 1, 2. This way. 1. I'm in here. 1. In here. 1, 2. So do a couple times for real. Coming in. In here. Here. Now, see when I'm coming in like that? Bang, I'm throwing it. Even if I don't hit, what do? I'm coming and grabbing, right? Because I don't want to have a striking challenge with him. I want to be able to control him. Okay, so let's go on to our last one for this module, which will be a lead hook. Now, the difference with this lead hook versus a rear hook is I won't have as much power, right? So I'm not pushing off from my rear, I'm coming with my lead. When I do my hook punch, the way I do it is I hold my hand up like this, like I'm holding a mug of coffee, right? Mr. Steve came in here with like, I love my dad mug, or I'm the best dad, whatever it is, it's a Sunday morning. Instead of just picking up a paper cup of coffee, he took a mug here to film this. So, just like Mr. Steve, you're going to be holding your mug just like this to strike somebody in your face. Any kind of mug that you would like. I'm pretending I have an I Love My Labradoodle mug. So, when I'm over here, I'm going to come for that lead hook this way. So see how I'm coming in? Now, if I'm just doing the lead hook, I haven't loaded this side yet, really, right? Remember we talked about load and then unload that way for this side. So when I'm here, I'm tight, I'm throwing. 2 mistakes you'll see. Too big of a hook, right? All arm. The second mistake is Mr. Steve will hold the pad here, almost like for a body hook, and then I'll come like this. But what didn't I protect? I didn't protect my chin, right? So we'll come on this side over here. So, what you want to do from over here is keep it tight. We're going to go up a little bit higher for the head hook. Bang. Now look where this came, right? So look where I'm protecting. So if he comes in, there's my block. If he's coming for a body hook, what I want to do is lower my body. So I'm going to come in here, lower, and come in this way. See how this is still protecting? Versus this. Because then he comes in. All right, so let's stay on this side. Let's just throw a couple lead hooks. Now, when I'm here, it's always better to throw that right cross so I can come back with that lead hook. But what I'm going to do is just kind of roll this way a little bit. So I'm going to load and then unload my hand. 1, watch this foot, and hit. 2, here. Okay? So now, if I was throwing the cross and the lead hook, 1. Now see how I'm purposely doing this slow? I find sometimes once we start throwing combos, whatever it is, right? You don't break it down enough. Sometimes if you're good at that, you want to break it down, go slower, reapply your knowledge, and then build it back up. So getting that foundation, this is what this is for, making that foundation out of steel versus wood. So we're over here, 1, 2. In here, 1, 2. See how I'm on my toes moving? 1, 2 here, 1, 2. So again, when you are throwing that lead hook, in, tight, roll through. Okay, so let's put this together in one of my favorite combos, which would be jab, cross, lead hook, cross. Now, even though I'm throwing a cross like this, the mechanics of me delivering, say, an open palm strike are the same. So just the way my hand is. So if I can throw a cross like that, I can throw the open palm coming straight through as well. So here we go. So we're going to start off slow. We're going to go jab, cross, lead hook, cross. Now this is important that my pad holder knows this as well. So we're here, jab, cross, lead hook, cross. So I'm going for the T at all times. Again, it's really about getting your reps in to get better. So we start picking this up a little. Let's just do it 5 times. So we're here, making sure. So now we both know what's going on. In here. In here. In here. so now, when I'm doing that, you can see I'm a little bit off balance. So what I would want to do is make sure I focus on that. So I'm in here, right? Now, here's the thing with this too. When we did this combo, we're stationary. When I hit him with that jab, what's going to happen to you? Move back. He's going to move back. So I'm ready to go, right? So if we're over here, and see how I'm coming to get him? We're going to go over that later. But when I'm just doing my stationary combo, and I have that momentum really trying to do it, right? It's hard to stay straight. But if I'm able to stay straight, it's better balance for me. And then we can move it. So let's break that down one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Going for the T, tucking the chin, keeping the hands up, activating the core, and then punching through my target. Okay, so let's have Mr. Steve do a drill that's really going to focus on throwing that cross and covering that distance. So all we're going to do is have him put his jab up, right? So he's going to hold it there. Now, he's going to push off the ground, rotate his hip, activate his core, and then punch through. Okay, so we're just going to come in. So he's going to place it, bang, and come in. So this is a good drill so we can get used to it. Now, I am segmenting it, right? Because once he's out here, he's extended. So he doesn't have any momentum. If you were to throw the jab first, pop, you can get more momentum. But what we're doing is breaking this down and then making sure he has to rotate those hips. All right, so this is the drill I want you to do. He can do it without me. Now, if he does it without me, he pushes up. Here's the big thing. He doesn't want to hyperextend his arm. So when he goes to punch, he's not going to come out like this. He's going to kind of go like 75% without me. 1. See how he did that? That has to be controlled because your body will not like the abrupt stop at the end. It does need the resistance of the pads or the bag. So let's go back to this drill. He's going to set it up and then home. See how it comes in? So here we go. Set it up. Now let's put it together. Pop, pop. Here we go. There we go. So go. Okay, so again, you can get like that and just segment it first. Get your foundation, get your reps, and get striking. Jab cross, elite hook cross. Here we go.